Kai, is this your mask?
All right, Andrew, you can start us off.
What's going on, Coach? What's the feel of the team right now? You guys finally made it to the bubble, and you got your first round matchup tomorrow.
Yeah, we feel good. It feels like we've been here for a couple of days, which we have, but it was nice to get in the convention center today and train. It was good. And yeah, I think we're ready to go. I don't think we've ever had this much downtime when it comes to playing in a tournament. So it's kind of sitting around, and we got all of our girls in their own hotel room. So I think it's getting a little long, and we're ready to beat up on somebody. So we're looking forward to tomorrow's match.
Go Matthew and then Ben.
Hey, Coach, how have the seniors kind of led the younger members of the team through this process, through this unusual tournament?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think you might have to ask them, but I think they've done a pretty good job in this past week of training leading up to this. I think it was a pretty unique situation where we had a really long period of time to train prior to even coming here, which is normally not something we get, which has been really nice. So they've done a pretty good job of keeping the environment in the gym where it needs to be for us to make some improvements. So I've been pleased with that for sure.
Josh, do you anticipate having to knock some rust off early on tomorrow? And if so, what does that look like?
Yeah, I think so. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I think that's actually a luxury that we have, that the top 16 seeds don't get, because they got to come in and play a really good opponent night one. And I'm not saying South Dakota's a light opponent. They're a really good volleyball team. But we haven't competed in a pretty long period of time, but the court's the same size. The volleyball's not any smaller. So, I think we'll just get into a rhythm regardless of how long it takes. And I think it's going to be a lot of relying on our training and finding ways to make your teammates better. We'll see some success if we do those things.
Eric, go ahead.
Hey, Josh, is there anything to being kind of in a bubble per se, quarantine, that benefits the team? I mean, obviously it's being made of, you have the test and you have the social distance, but what about just being in the zone could benefit the team?
I think it's nice because when you're alone in your room, then you kind of long for some human interaction, and so I think it's been nice at each meal. I think our girls stay a little bit longer. I think there's an Uno tournament in the room last night. So, just little things like that. I think it's really requiring our girls to rely on one another through tough situations. And I think that's what elite groups do is they long for a hard challenge to solve with those that they battle with. So I think it's really forcing us to rely on one another through a tough time. And I think when you think of tough situations, you think about a tight point in a match, but I think this is tough, being in your own room, waiting around, anxiety of waiting for your test to come back negative, positive. And there's a lot that goes into this year. That's very different from years previous. So I think the best thing that it is creating is a reliance on one another as teammates, which I'm really happy with.
Ben and then Andrew.
Josh, I know this group was really feeling it coming out of the Florida series, but this team's ability to kind of pull the nose up the last 4 matches and now get some rest, does it feel like they've been re-energized? Do you feel like this group is poised to really play their best right now? I do, and I think mentally it was huge for us to come off that Florida series and get back in the gym and train hard and come out with 4 straight wins in the SEC, which was really nice. And I think physically as well, we were pretty mindful with the way we trained and the timing of our training leading up to this, and really allowed us physically to taper off a little bit after breaking down some muscle. And I think our girls are feeling pretty good. So yeah, I think we're in a good spot. And I think a good example of that is I think Anna Dixon's probably contacting the ball higher than she ever has. And I think physically all our girls are just feeling pretty good right now.
Coach, what will define success for you guys in your program these next couple of days here at the NCAA tournament, or hope maybe even further than that?
Yeah, no, it's a great question. I think it's going to be finding, let's go with 2 things. Finding ways to make our teammates better. Because I think when you're doing that, it alleviates your own personal stress and anxiety. And in addition to that, a willingness to individually step up and make a play in a tight moment. I think when we do those two things as a group, we're a pretty formidable force. And I think being able to step up in those moments is deeply relying on your teammate to have your back if things don't go perfectly according to plan. And I think that trust is at a really good spot right now. And, finding ways to make your teammates better is adjusting the whole way you think. If I'm receiving serve, I'm not thinking about getting a good pass. I'm thinking about putting up a good ball for my setter to set a killable ball after that. So really doing that, I think, will alleviate, like I mentioned, stress and anxiety in a tournament that's, tough to be in. It's hard to be here and it's hard to be successful in this tournament. But if we do those two things, I consider that a success. And I think wins will come if we do that.
Eric.
Hey, Josh, I know that at first they said that there's not going to be any commentators at the tournament, and then they kind of reversed that decision, and it's going to be just a regular kind of, no, I think no in-person media, maybe no fans. I don't know how that portion of it, but what exactly does, in your opinion, the stage of the NCAA tournament mean for the sport of volleyball?
Yeah, so there's 335 Division I programs, and currently 48 of those programs are in a tournament. And that's a pretty elite group right there. And normally it's 64, and although that's a little bit bigger than 48, that's still a really elite group. And it's a big deal. And winning is never easy, regardless of who your opponent, regardless of what level you play at. Winning is hard. And to win through COVID, to win through team injuries, win through a really long season like we've got, and still get a bid into the NCAA tournament, that's a pretty big deal, and it's hard to do. It was very, very difficult, and our girls grinded, and I was really proud of them. So yeah, it's unique to be here, and it's hard to be here. And I think something that also defines elite groups is that they enjoy doing hard things. And I think our girls are really learning how to embrace the suck, and because life sucks sometimes, and we all know that. But learning to embrace it and face it head on is something that we're getting pretty good at as a group, and I think we're peaking at that at the right time.
Matthew.
Obviously, this has been a long season for you guys. When you kind of go back to August and then you look at now, what do you think has changed the most about the team? Where's the most growth been?
Oh, that's interesting. I think it's learning that I think the biggest thing is when things get hard, how are you going to respond? I think because in the past, I think what had happened when things got hard is everyone kind of came into themselves and let their teammates kind of figure it out on their own. And that's never going to be successful when you got a group working towards a common goal. So I think the biggest thing has been identifying one that doesn't work. We probably shouldn't continue to do it because it's not going to work at any point if we continue doing that. So I think it's coming up with a different solution to hard situations that we find ourselves in. And I think we're doing a nice job of, when things get tough, looking towards one another and finding ways to solve the problem together, rather than focusing inwardly and saying, man, I hope this gets better. I hope one of my teammates figures this out. So it's been a good change. And I think it's a skill like anything else that we've slowly gotten better at over the year.
Any other questions, guys?
Cool. Thanks, everybody.
Good luck, Coach. Thank you.
All right. Thank you all.